I'm Glade with Backwater Performance, and today I want to go over the trim system. We get calls just about every day of the week with people trying to diagnose their trim system. It won't go up, it won't go down, it won't work at all. So I want to go step by step through how to diagnose and troubleshoot your trim system. The very first thing to do is check all of your connections, mainly your battery connections first. Make sure there's no corrosion, make sure all the connections are nice and tight. There's also lots of other connections. There's connections on the circuit breaker, there's connections in the switch. Just go through the whole entire circuit and make sure there's no corrosion and all the connections are tight. At that point we can start actually get down to troubleshooting. The trim system consists of just a few components. It starts with your actuator itself. This is the Mercury actuator. You'll also see a bunch of different other kinds of actuators on MudBuddy, but today we're just going to go over the Mercury system. Basically, next down the line is you've got the relays. There's two relays. One is for up and one is for down. Actually, the green circuit is for down and the blue circuit is for up. Next, you've got a circuit breaker. The circuit breaker is basically just a self-resetting fuse. You've got the switch, and then you've got the battery. It's pretty simple to troubleshoot this if you break it down into these small components. But the first step in troubleshooting is to check the switch. Here's how I do that. You'll see there's a blue, a green, and a red wire that comes directly out of your switch. This is all going to be inside your football on the end of your tiller handle. How I check that is I'll unplug one of these connections and with your multimeter or a test light, hook the black to a ground and then connect your positive side right to one of these leads. It should be zero with not doing anything with the switch. When you push down on the switch, you'll see that it's reading the same voltage as the battery. That's what you want to see, that you're actually getting the voltage through the switch. And then you just kind of repeat that process on the blue side, the up side of the switch. Unplug that connection, grab your positive lead, and now push up on the switch, and you should be getting the same voltage of your battery. That'll tell you if your switch is good or not. The next thing to check is your circuit breaker. Same thing with your multimeter. You're going to check the battery side of the circuit breaker, and it should show battery voltage. And then go to the other post, and it should show battery voltage as well. If it's any less than that, if it's zero, you've got a problem with the circuit breaker. It's either some internal electrical failure or some kind of corrosion or something else going on there. All right, the next on down the line is the actuator itself. So what you're going to do is unplug the main green and blue wires that come out of the actuator itself. There's going to be some heat shrink that goes over these connections. You'll just cut that heat shrink away, disconnect these completely, and then do whatever you need to do to get a battery to where you can reach this. Whether that means you hook up some jumper cables or pull another battery, and whatever you need to do to be able to get these to touch the positive and the negative terminals directly on your battery. Now, it doesn't matter which way you start with it. One polarity's up and one polarity's down. So just pick one direction and go for it. Just touch these right to the battery. One polarity's up. One polarity's down. If you do that, then that kind of takes everything else in the circuit out of question, and we know that that's good. Now, with that being said, we've kind of, through process of elimination, we've gone through everything besides the relays. You can test the relays individually. It's a little bit of a process. So basically at this point, if it goes up and not down, or if it goes down and not up, then 99% of the time you're gonna have a relay problem. If it goes up and not down, you've got a green circuit problem, and that's so you'll know which one that you need to replace. Another easy way to tell that is pop these off, switch them, and if your problem reverses, if now it goes down and not up, then you'll know that that side is the bad one. You need to replace these. Now, with all that being said, I like to keep spares in my boat at all times in a dry box. I'll keep at least one relay, I'll keep a circuit breaker, and I keep an extra switch in the boat with me all the time. They don't fail that often, but you know, if these things are left outside, they can get corroded. You know, internal electrical failures, all sorts of things like that.